Hi guys, it's Kat. So for today's video, we are doing a get ready with me. I'm getting ready to run errands, but I do want to talk a little bit about my job on here. So we're gonna do that today. I have an Alani. This is Pink Slush. No cotton candy Alani today, but I have been stocking up at Target. We're going in with my Road Glazing Mist today, not my Tower 28. I felt like using this one today, so that's what we're doing. Going with Bioma, my Hydrating Milky Toner. So to start off about my job, I work at a special needs school. So I work with kids who have like autism, Down syndrome, ADHD, all the sorts of special needs is at this school. And we have students like from all ages from like 2 to 25. Few jobs from Gillespie. I work with middle schoolers in my classroom, but I've been bouncing around. When like staff is out, then they send you to another classroom. It's like you have a student out, they need coverage. So I've been kind of all around the building. But right now my classroom is primarily in a middle school classroom. Tatcha eye cream. But to give you guys my actual job title, it is a paraprofessional. And I was working at an ABA clinic before with kids with autism. And then I moved on to this school. My sister was actually the one that got me the job in the first place, because the school I worked at, she worked at for a very long time. So she was the one that contacted them if they needed to hire people, and that's how that happened. I'm technically a paraprofessional, but one day I would like to be a teacher at that school. Road Barrier Butter. I've been at this school for well over a year now, so it's like time flies. Well, honestly, I do love my job, but I will get into specifics like about my job because it is not meant for everyone, and that's all I'm gonna say. Some kids are harder to deal with than others. Like the kids in this school have behaviors like aggression and just like property destruction and stuff like that. But it's like something they can't really control. It just kind of happens and we gotta deal with it. So I'm constantly getting hurt at this job, but it's okay because I love it. Going in with NYX, this is the face glue. Sometimes when I tell people about my job, they think I'm like absolutely crazy for what I do. Because I do get hurt a bunch like every day. But not every day is like bad with these kids. It just depends on how they're really feeling, and it's hard because my students can't communicate. It's like their vocals, they have to use a device to tell us how they're feeling and stuff, and it's kind of hard when they're not feeling good to really communicate what they need. So the behaviors could be worse one day and then they could be fine the next day. It really just depends. Going in with Natasha Denona, the High Glam Foundation. We have support teams too of people that like if there's a call for a student having a hard time, they come and give you like help and like how to get the kid out of the behaviors. So it's hard when your kid's going to behavior and need a call for support because it's just like sometimes you just can't handle the situation by yourself. I've gotten bitten a couple times too, so we have a lot of people come to our school like to work and then they end up leaving. Like I said, it's not meant for everyone, and a lot of people don't realize the aggression and the behaviors that come with kids with special needs. Tower 28 concealer. Sorry if I'm like moving a lot. My like chair is like bouncing around and spinning me, and I don't mean to be spinning. But yeah, sometimes we have people who start at our school and then they're gone within a month, and I'm like, don't blame them sometimes. When I started, I was put in a very high behavioral class. So like the classroom I was in was a middle school room, and the kids in there were pretty severe. And I kind of took it as a challenge, to be honest. I was like, you know what? My kids at my old job were aggressive too. Like, I can handle this. I think it's because they saw I had my experience at the ABA clinic that they're like, she can handle her classroom when she starts. It's fine. And then after a while, they took me out of that classroom and put me in a high school room, which the kids in there actually had less behaviors. My one kid just spit and hit, but she wasn't like bad compared to the other kids in the first classroom I started. I think I was talking about other behaviors these kids had and I got off track. But another behavior one of my boys had, which he's one of the boys I started with, and then the classroom I'm in now, he's in that as well in the new year. And he has a lot of self-injurious behaviors. So that's another type of behavior you have to look out for, because they can have physical aggression and then also have aggression towards themselves. There's not much to really talk about my job except for like it is a hard job for some people to handle, and for me there are days where I'm just like dreading going to work. That was because I keep switching classrooms and then having to adjust to new kids and their behaviors and stuff, so it's hard. And now my friend from my whole classroom is getting moved into my classroom, and it's just things are switching up. But I will say I am happier here than I was at my ABA clinic, which I was there for 6 months, and it was okay with my clientele, but it just like got to a point where I could not just stand working there. And it wasn't the kids, it was more the people and stuff, and I was like, yeah, we're not doing this. So that's when my sister was like, hey, I can get you a job here, and I was like, please. And it worked out. Not to mention I went in with the Morphe sudden heat brought in sick. We're always looking for new paraprofessionals at our job, just because of how many people like work, and I realized it's not for them, and they hired me like on the spot. They're like, when can you start? And I was like, let me put in my 2 weeks at my old job and I'll start here. Going in with this little recipe, a dewy flush. This is in dragon fruit, and I have not used this in like forever, so we're going in with her today. Very hot pink on my. I will say I do like this job a lot, even though it has some hard moments with it, which is sometimes like how my mom and my boyfriend like, you get hurt at this job, like do you really want to work here? Sad to say, I got so adjusted to getting hurt by kids that it doesn't bother me anymore. Like these kids have hard times too, dealing with whatever they might have going on at home and stuff, so it's like you can't really blame them all the time. I'm going in with Exhilarate. This is the Rare Beauty highlight, and my sister is much older than me, which is why she's been a para way longer than I have, so like she knows exactly what I'm going through because she went through it as well. She still is at her school. She doesn't work at the school I'm at anymore, but it's funny how my oldest sister has the same job as me, and I'm the youngest one out of my siblings. Going in with One Size. This is Ultra Pink setting powder. I'm just gonna do this off camera real quick. Going in with House Labs. This is the Powder Sculpt Bronzer. There's not much else to say about my job because it'll just become too repetitive if I keep explaining more. But that's the majority of my job. It's a full-time job, which is why my part-time job, I don't need to be there a lot because I don't have the time, and I'm only there Saturdays because I would not survive working a full weekend at my part-time job and a full week at my full-time job. I did leave early for a doctor's appointment last week because I've been getting migraines every day for like the past 2 weeks, and I wasn't thinking about the possibility of being a concussion because like I said, my kids can be physically aggressive, and I keep getting hit in the freaking head by kids for like absolutely no reason, which is another thing. Sometimes you can't predict when the aggression or the behaviors are gonna start, like what triggers it, because it can come out of nowhere sometimes. Like I wasn't even working with this student, he ran up to me and just smacked me in the head, and I was just sitting on a chair and I'm like, but why? Going in with YSL Make Me Blush in 87. There's one thing I did not mention that I'm realizing now, and that is that when you are a para, you are one-on-one with the student. At least that's how it is at my school. We have 4 students in our classroom and 4 paras and 1 teacher. So we do one-on-one sessions with the kids within the same classroom, and we'll do like independent work with them, or like, you know, if they need a movement break, we take them on walks, we go on the bike, go outside and stuff like that. But the teacher is the one that plans like everything, like worksheets or rules. Like we do like morning meeting where we talk about dates and weather and stuff like that, and that's usually what the teacher does. And us as paras, we take care of the kids basically. Going in with Rare Beauty Accelerate. This is the powder highlight. So yeah, at our school we're one-on-one with a student, but we have a teacher who works on planning for what we have to do for the week and stuff, and like we help prep if we don't have like a student or something. So most of the time when I'm with a student, and I'll just hang out with them if they're like on the iPad or doing work with them, or you know what, like, you know, just basic things. But it's more of a like helpful setting than like a regular school would be, where you're like just one teacher and a whole classroom full of kids. Just doing Rare Beauty eyebrow gel today because I don't really feel like filling in my brows. But yeah, so continuing on to my freaking migraines, because I keep getting sidetracked because I'm like, wait, let me tell you guys what the job actually entails as a para, which is being one-on-one with the student while you're like sitting with them and doing work with them, and then there's still a teacher in the classroom. But so I went to my doctor on Wednesday and I told her she put me on these medications, and then my sister mentioned like, hey, have you been getting hit in the head? And I was like, yeah, actually I have. She goes, what if you have a concussion from your kids? And I'm like, god dang it, what if you're right? priming my lids with e.l.f. Lock It Down. So now I have to go do blood work this week, and then I'm gonna have to schedule an MRI for another hospital because my doctor doesn't do it at my hospital that I go to. So I have to make sure the referral goes to, and then I have to get a freaking MRI scan. For my eyeshadow look, we're going in with this Dior palette. This is just a Backstage, the Nude Essentials. We're going for a simple eye look today. Starting off with the shade over here for like a little transition shade. My crease a little above my eyelid. I don't need to do a spontaneous look today. I'm literally just running errands. I love that the only plans I really have for today is to go grocery shopping, and then I need to clean. Yeah, and I'm like over here doing my makeup for something so simple. Like I'm literally just going to Aldi, but watch me like go somewhere like store wise and be like, let me just get out of the house. For my outer corner, we're going with this dark brown here. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm filming this on the Sunday after Valentine's Day because like I mentioned, blood work is gonna happen this week, and that's gonna be on a Saturday, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to film this Saturday. I was like, let me record a video today and just have it ready for you guys next week. I went to my part-time job yesterday for Valentine's Day, and it was crazy busy, and I was letting them know about my migraines and stuff just in case, and they let me leave early because we died down, and they're like, just go home, you don't look well. It's like, thank you. For my middle shade, we're going with this brown here. So I ended up working like 3 hours, a little over 3 hours, and then I went home. I was like, I came home and I literally just like laid down right away, and I was like, please, my migraine go away. My friend accidentally hit me with a ring tray, so that's what triggered my migraine and my head hurting. Yeah, she felt really bad. And what I mean about the ring tray was at my job, like we obviously sold jewelry. I was beneath her and I stood up too fast, not realizing she was holding a freaking heavy tray above my head, and I was like, that's such a me thing to do. For a sparkly shade, we're gonna go with this middle shade here. But we also had so many people working, there's nowhere to freaking stand in our store. So they were like, yeah, just leave. And I was like, okay, cool, bye. Going in with my Sephora white liner. Yeah, now I'm just hoping when I get my MRI scan that it's nothing too serious. But you never freaking know. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I am using the powder Melt from One Size to set this powder down because I have a lot of powder on my face. We're gonna do my lips before my mascara today. That's usually what I do, but sometimes I switch it up. But for lip liner, we're going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. Comment down below what other videos you guys want to see from me, because honestly, I don't know what videos to do besides get ready with me, because I am a yapper. There's always something to talk about when it comes to me. Or if there's anything you guys want to like know about me, you know, comment down questions and I can always answer them in another video. For lipstick, we're going with Charlotte Tilbury. This is Very Victoria. Really pretty. I'm like, okay, it's almost 11 o'clock and it's a Sunday, and I'm like, I think I don't work tomorrow because tomorrow's President's Day. But obviously, when I'm filming this is filmed in advance for the Saturday's video. So if I'm talking and you guys like, she's talking about something that, you know, happened last week, that's why. I just don't know if I'll have time to film next weekend. We're going with Summer Fridays. This is the Brown Sugar Lip Balm. I'm also a person that likes to be ahead of schedule. So when I have time to film, I'm gonna just do it. And then I'm gonna try not talking about it what day it is, because then I'm like, people are gonna be like, you didn't film this weekend? And I'm like, no, I filmed it in advance because I'm planning my weeks, because I already know I just won't have time to film next weekend. So I say President's Day tomorrow, and then it's not gonna be President's Day tomorrow when this video is out. For lashes, we're going in the Roller Lash Benefit first. I also like filming when I know no one's gonna hear me, because my boyfriend will be across the hall, and I hate filming when people are around depending on what I'm doing. So if I'm talking to my camera, I always feel a little awkward, and I'm like, please don't listen to me. So he's at work right now, and I was like, this is the perfect time to film and, you know, just yap for an hour. And his mom's always downstairs, so it's like she doesn't hear me. But it's funny because when I'm at my parents' house, I'll film there because they're so Polish they can barely understand what I'm saying anyway. My mom knows a lot of English, but my dad doesn't. Now we're going with Tartelette 2E Mascara from Tarte. My parents are actually going to Poland next month, so I will be dog sitting my little boy Oreo. I will still be able to film because I'll be alone. There's only a couple of times on my schedule that I know I have to film a video in advance. Like next week is my blood work, but sometimes when my brother comes to visit because he lives out of state, those are the times I go to my parents' house and I don't film there because it would be extra awkward if he hears me filming something. But those are basically the only times where I know I'll have to pre-film a video in advance. Of course, I freaking got mascara on my nose. My nose is new. Now we're going with the Mesa My Breaks the Yummy Skin for setting spray. Got my handy dandy fan. Alright guys, here's the final makeup look for today. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe and comment for engagement, and I'll talk to you guys soon.